Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 56 of the Sofa Manager Scottish Football Podcast. We're here tonight recording on a sweltering evening. It's been absolutely beautiful weather, but alas, the season is over. There's no football to go out and watch in this wonderful weather. Therefore, tonight's a bit of a season finale review. So we'll be going through all the big finals that have taken place recently, including the Champions League final. We'll talk about someone bailing out of Real Madrid, possibly. There we go. And our, of course, thoughts on, I think, the keeper, which is the main talking point, along with a certain Spanish defender who maybe broke Egyptian hearts everywhere. We'll also be covering the big Scottish, or the... Oh, would they call it the wealthiest game in Scottish football, the Scottish playoff?
Suppose so, yeah.
They say that the English Championship playoff is that, so perhaps the same for Scotland. So we'll be talking about Livingston and their triumphant return. Also, we'll be covering some news, especially surrounding their manager, David Hopkin, and his possible destinations, along with the big transfer stories as usual. I'll also tell some tales about the Scottish Women's Cup final that I went to. I've been quite taken by women's football recently, as well as the football that's been played on the park. There you go. Anyway, joining me for this evening's festivities, we have managed to drag him out of the bar from Saturday. Was it Sunday evening? Saturday evening. Saturday evening.
After the Champions League.
Watching the Champions League final. Waylaid for at least 2 days now. It is our Spanish football expert, conveniently for this evening. It is Darren Gibson.
Hello, Paul.
Oh, you're recovered now.
Yes, just in the one.
Podcast especially delayed for Darren over here. And it is committed Falkirk fan and future season ticket holder after his reminder this week, Andrew Menzies. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Have you committed?
Not quite. We'll see who we end up with.
We'll see what the slogan is. Is that what's going to convince you?
No, it's my town.
It's my town?
No, my team.
Alright.
They're based it around people that work within the team. Like, basically people that...
I work within the team. They've not spoken to me.
Well, no, but like, they put like people's faces, so like long-term season ticket holders, people that just help out the club. Like, there's like, it's like they took like a young boy...
Hello!
a young boy, like, future goalkeeper, and then like super mum. It's just like, they're trying to make it more of a community thing. Because we don't have a poster boy.
Well, you know my number, Falkirk, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, of course, your final host is me. It is the voice for and face for radio only, it seems, since Falkirk won't pick me for their marketing campaign. Of course, Paul Menzies. So thank you very much for joining us. Like and subscribe if you enjoy. And anyway, I think we'll just get straight into it. Grand! So, first thing we'll start with this week, we're just going to fire off some news stories. Yep. I think not a huge amount happening in Scottish football, truth be told. A couple of wee bits. Jamie McLaren today called up for the Australia squad. At long last, I think they've been oohing and ahhing back and forth about it, which I think takes our tally of Scottish Premiership footballers at the World Cup to 2. Rogic? Is Rogic there?
Rogic
will be
Rogic,
there, yeah.
McLaren. I'm missing one.
Dembele
go? No.
Dembele's
no, he wasn't. No.
It's just the two.
I feel like Celtic have got a weird... Israel's not in it, are they?
Not to my knowledge, no.
If they are, they'd
Sweden's
be
in
taking
it. So.
Sweden, Lustig.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. 3 people.
Between the 3 years we got it.
Football manager experts here. So 3, it's very exciting, Andrew. Another player at the World Cup.
Whoop, whoop.
Do you know who you're supporting yet?
Yes. I've got, in the sweepstake, I have got Belgium.
See, that's always the outsider shout, and they always just absolutely pan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll take it.
Is Denier going? Oh no, we don't have Denier anymore. Is Boyata will be going, won't he?
Boyata is actually there.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, he is on the team.
Let's stop. We keep adding to our tally of things we currently don't know. So that was very exciting. Also, promoted Livingston manager David Hopkin on the look for a new manager's job the same week that Jack Ross accepted the Sunderland job at Sunderland.
four times the money or something.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Darren. Thanks for digging me out that hole. So 4 times the money. I think his first signing looks to be John McGinn for $3 million. I think they're quite happy to offer that. Bit of a long-term project there, don't you think?
I'd say so, yeah. I can see why he's went to Sunderland. I think he was rumoured to be going to Ipswich originally. But I guess in terms of like geography and it's closer to Scotland, so if he wants to stay in Scotland, he can.
if he wants to,
if he wants to, you know. But
if he wants to take the motorbike, drive it over the fence, he can.
Yeah, he's got that option with Sunderland. I suppose it's not too far away, but
I
don't know.
It's one of these that's guaranteed success in League One. You would hope and you would imagine. I think a lot of deadwood to be cleared out there, but he did the same sort of job at St Mirren, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got new owners at Sunderland too.
New chairman.
New chairman, is that what it is?
Well, hopefully he can get that turned around. I'm a big admirer. But of course, that leaves a spare seat at St Mirren. A number of names been rumoured with this. I think today we had some comments on the Sofa Manager Instagram page. Follow if you fancy. About Paul Lambert possibly interviewing for that seat. Yeah. Be interesting. Could he pull off a Steve Clark story again? Or
I believe he could, as long as he doesn't take Owen Coyle's outlook on it.
Well, I know that Stoke have released Darren Fletcher and Charlie Adam. So could we see Charlie Adam made his name at was it Kilmarnock he was on loan to?
No idea.
I think Charlie Adam might have made his name.
I think he was. Yeah.
It was either St Mirren or Kilmarnock. I forget. Some intelligent person will correct me in the comments, I'm sure. So yeah, a few other names associated. We've got Robbie Nielsen, fresh off his spell with MK Dons. Didn't really.
He did dreadful.
He done poor.
But that was a sinking ship. Those MK Dons are not exactly the most popular or favourable club in England, are they?
Well, legend Peter Pollitt, a star player.
Indeed.
Along with ex-Falkirk player Conor McGrandles. And Aberdeen star Nicky Maynard amongst their former. But it's quite a big club, though, you know, in League One. Quite a nice wee stadium there.
Well, it's not actually where it should be, though, is it?
No. But anyway, I thought he was a good manager with heart.
Yeah, but he never took off MK Dons, did he? But again, Scottish League's different, and
he's got more chance of doing a better job in Scotland, definitely.
And he's cheaper than Lambert, I'd say.
That's another point I was going to say.
Well, I don't know, bars are raised. It's a second candidate, probably my favourite for the job, Jim Goodwin. Followed exactly the same path as Jack Ross did. Well, if he got the job to St Mirren management and that St Mirren player for a stint.
That'd be an interesting one.
Went on to manage Alloa and then back to St Mirren. So almost a carbon copy if they wanted one. It was there. Alloa obviously riding high. Aloha. Let's be a Hawaiian themed away shirt at some point. Come on. Ride the wave, lads. That's what I'm going to say. With them up in the Championship as well. So it would be a great opportunity for him. And he's done quite well with them.
Yeah, he has actually.
Beating Wraith Rovers shockingly, despite finishing 20 points behind them. So that would be very interesting. And also, of course, David Hopkin, the hot property at the moment, the Livingston manager. He has been touted by none other than St Mirren, Carlisle United, which I thought was an interesting
I never heard that one.
And rather ambitiously, Greenock Morton. Apparently he's been talking to all three. There's one of these teams that I'm not entirely sure why he's giving the time of day. And that is, of course, Carlisle. No. Greenock Morton. I don't even know why Greenock Morton are throwing their name at the hat there.
I feel like they've not, but like someone else is.
Apparently they have. I think they're being a bit ambitious. But, you know, Hopkin did a terrific job on a shoestring budget. If you're him, you stick with Livingston, do you go to St Mirren, or maybe take your chances down south? What do you guys think? I throw it out to you.
Yeah, I think it's working out quite well for him at Livingston, so I think he should just stick there.
Yeah.
I would hate to see him move to St Mirren and then it all goes wrong for him, you know. I think because he's been there, it's a couple of years he's been there now, isn't it? At Livingston, so he knows how the club works, and I think it would work out well for him getting promoted, obviously, and I think the team will be behind him. Obviously, it could change quite a bit over the summer coming up.
Hashtag be the roar.
But he's had a great achievement and he's done really well with the budget that he had last season. Really good job. So hopefully, I'd quite like to see him stay at Livingston, to be honest. Stock
is very, very high, and I think people are looking for these motivators, i.e. people who get performances out of cheap players.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's what everyone's looking for. I think hence why, you know, Jack Ross, David Hopkins, these names are being bounced about. What would you do, Andrew, in David Hopkins' situation?
I'd say 100% don't go to Carlisle.
Right.
Because Rory Loy played with them. I'd definitely say...
Great such as Lee Miller as well, don't forget.
Yeah, but Lee Miller's a hero. That's all you have to say.
So stay with him at Livy.
But I'd say he has to stay with Livingston because if you look at the players St Mirren's got, they are better, but does it fit the way that he's played at Livingston? Because St Mirren they're not a big team. Like,
they're a big air team than
no.
Livingston.
I mean in the sense of player-wise, because the way he played football with Livingston was they've got a big team and 2 wee guys behind Lee Miller. So it's the way that they played football. It did suit him then, but I don't know. He'd have to adapt if he had to go to St Mirren.
But, maybe a better team, better players, bigger club, less likely to go down in the first season. It's a risk. And with the fan base and things at Livingston, is there going to be an admin, number 3 or something, or 2?
Well, St Mirren's attendance was, well...
I think their away attendances were stronger than Livingston's home.
Yeah, to be fair, Livingston's home, I think every time I went to the stadium, there was more away fans than home fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was always one person with a wee... Like, you know how you usually get like horns at games or something?
Uh-huh.
The wee hooters. You know what they had? The wee squeezy horn things.
Those squeezy hooters.
Every time a goalkeeper went to take a goal kick, you just That's it.
Reminds me of the Motherwell Gold song, which I heard over and over at Hampden when they played Aberdeen. It's like a chicken clucking thing. It's really weird. Like, no. That's gives me cringe every time I hear it. But we will come back to Livingston's success a bit later on. But of course, the major news of this week, the only Champions League fixture to be played on a Saturday, the final in Kiev, Real Madrid against Liverpool. Final score 3-1. First of all, how did we watch the game? And what surroundings were we in? Because this is a special occasion. You want to watch it in the best conditions possible. So where were you for the final, Andrew?
I was in work, surrounded by old people that didn't really care about it, so I was watching it on a laptop.
There you go. The romantic nature of the Champions League.
3 people in our work, all crowded around this laptop.
That is commitment.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did screw a few times, which probably wasn't the best thing for a customer experience, but...
Brought people together, which was the main thing. Darren, where were you?
I was in Sportstars on Falkirk.
Don't name it. We don't want to plug it and claim in any way, shape or form that we're associated with this hellhole.
Lattice Pint in Falkirk.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're never getting
there was a few, to be fair.
Oh, so you were a few pints under.
Yes, I was,
safe to say. What was the atmosphere like in there? Pretty good?
It was really busy, actually, to be honest. There was a few Liverpool fans out there, so... obviously with them being in the final, I think it brought more people out. I've been there a couple of times for the Champions League final, but that was definitely the most busy I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, no glory hunting Real Madrid fans, thankfully enough. Me, I was in the caravan, so I had free-to-air television, which of course the Champions League final wasn't broadcast on. We went up to, I think, BT Showcase, which is on free view, so I thought, there could be a chance here they show some games on there. And it just referred you to the YouTube app, and I was like, brilliant, I've got barely any phone signal.
Forgot about that, it's on YouTube.
So I had to watch the kind of line by line and sort of create my own narrative before I watched the highlights, I think at 10:30 at night. But what remarkable highlights there were.
Yeah.
What shall we go for first?
I think you start with the positives and then go to the negatives.
So, I think... are we big fans of Real Madrid at this table?
No, I'm not, no.
Okay, so what I termed this as Real Madrid's jammiest ever campaign. I think they were very lucky to get through 3 or 4 fixtures. Bayern Munich played much better than
and
Real
I think
Madrid.
It was the same against Juventus, really.
Same against Juventus.
Yeah.
And again, they were quite lucky in the final, I thought.
I mean, if they never subbed on Gareth Bale, I think it could have been a slightly different story.
It could have been a different game. And if Mo Salah was still on the pitch, you never know.
Let's talk about Mo Salah, Darren. Sergio Ramos is not without controversy.
Exactly. And I see him a lot watching, like, obviously La Liga, and he does this week in, week out in La Liga. So I wasn't surprised, but I don't know what your thoughts were on it, but I thought it was quite intentional. So.
I was waiting for someone to snap him in two.
I think he was very clever with how he did it. Not that this justifies it being correct at all, but it is very cruel and malicious, to do that to a player. However, it wins you the game, and love it or hate it, they aren't in it to play pure football, and I think we saw that on the night. They're in it to win that match, and that's exactly what injuring Mo Salah did. Because as soon as that happened...
Did you see smirk after Salah went off? It was like, well, that's the game changed now. Yeah.
They're up on it, like the Ronaldo wink, and just...
Do that on a night out and you get put in the cells for a night.
But you see, it was even when Sané hit him in the face.
That's right, actually.
Quite rightfully. And they all burst to the referee. And the referee wasn't going to do anything about it. He changed his mind. I thought, this is horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's petulant and it's just ridiculous. So, what did you make of the incident, Dan?
Well, I'm not surprised because Ramos does do it a lot. Like, so it's the way he plays. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a good footballer, but there's far too much of that. He does that pretty much every game, eh?
He's ruined 2 Champions League finals, in my opinion.
And he's won them both.
Yeah, but the issue I have is you had the Juventus one, where he got Cuadrado sent off for him diving.
Yeah.
Which was, again, they were already, 2-1 up, 3-1 up? Was it?
I think 3-1 up. Yeah.
3-1 up,
yeah.
and then it just decided to dive, which, when you're 3-1 up, what's the need? But right there and then, it took the sting out of the game once he got Salah off. But then I think there was just a moment where Liverpool all got angry. Like, they were not stunned anymore. And then that's when Mane got the goal. But then...
Not long lived.
Well, Gareth Bale.
Wow. The second goal, Gareth Bale's... Why he even decides to do that, I don't know. And this was similar to... didn't Casemiro score an absolute roaster last year?
Well, if you look at
Ronaldo this season.
Ronaldo scored one against Juventus. It was an overhead kick, and then Gareth Bale did it. It was in the same minute.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
So both of the Champions League final, same minute.
I don't see any spooky conspiracy theories.
Everybody's been talking about that.
But an absolutely stunning goal from Bale.
He could take anything away from that. It's outstanding.
Now, similar to the final in Cardiff last year, he came on for Isco, who I think he's just constantly been battling with to get in that first team.
Isco's been a wee bit in and out the team, but I think both of them actually might be looking for new clubs in the summer. But it depends what actually happens if Zidane stays. But I think he will after the Champions League.
Stay. He's not going anywhere.
Zidane's come under a lot of pressure. I've seen a lot of chat.
To be honest, I think if they'd lost the Champions League final, then his job could have been in threat. But they did come out with comments saying we don't have the bottle. Like the chairman was saying that, well, the president was saying that they don't have the bottle to go and sack Zidane, so you need to walk away. Because obviously he's a legend at Real Madrid and in football terms too. So
I think he strikes me as a very quiet guy. You know, he's not leading from the front. He very much kind of lets the team go out and do its own thing. Which, when you've got a team of that quality,
when you've got a team like Real Madrid,
I think people like Marcelo, I've never been a big fan of, but I think he's just one of the world's best.
Well, going forward, yes, not in terms of defending.
Defending wise, no.
Defenders when you've got Sergio Ramos just getting the world's best players injured and sent off at all occasions. So yeah, I think Bale and Ronaldo in their comments after the game, you know, Bale coming out saying it was great to be part of this. So he was speaking in the past tense. Ronaldo making no bones about his
Ronaldo does this every season though. He's done it the last 3 seasons and he's still there, and I'd be very surprised if he left. But Gareth Bale, more likely, this is the first time that Gareth Bale has actually said that he would look for a new club. Every time he's been asked the question, he said, I love playing at Real Madrid, I want to stay at Real Madrid. This is the first time he's actually said the opposite.
Yeah, he needs to.
So, and he said it right after they won the Champions League final, so that's a bit of a surprise.
Was it 4 times?
What?
Bale.
How many times
he's
won the Champions League? He's won the Champions League 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Ridiculous, you forget.
Which is 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
But if Ronaldo were to leave, does that leave a space in the team for someone like him, and perhaps for him to become the main man and the starter every week in life?
I think Bale's kind of done with Real Madrid now, though. Because if you looked at him when he played with Wales, this is where it comes in. When he played with Spurs and when he played with Wales, he was the main man. They let him do whatever he wanted. People play round him. He didn't get that at Real Madrid. I think he wants that back.
I think the thing about Bale compared to some other footballers is he can win games by himself.
Yeah.
Do I think Ronaldo can do that? Not all the time. You know, Portugal
won
that.
Have you not seen his penalty? Penalty.
What penalty?
He always takes, like, in the Champions League final, he scored a penalty, went absolutely nuts, even though he did nothing.
Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, you know, Portugal won the Euros without him. And I think even Messi doesn't win games by himself. I think Messi used to win games by himself.
I think both of them did,
Messi
but
still
just
can.
not as much, yeah.
He's done it this year.
I've not seen a lot of Barcelona this year,
yeah.
truth be told.
He's done a lot in the league. The one thing I would say for Gareth Bale is he's not had a lot of game time in La Liga this season, which is a bit different from previous seasons.
Nuts.
Hence another reason why he might be wanting to leave the club. Because he did say that after the Champions League, I think, that he said that he wants to be at a club that he's going to get game time. So that's probably another reason.
Where do they go?
Well, he has been rumoured to go to Bayern Munich. That was the original first story.
He could be a good
I think would be a
replacement.
better, it'd be a better fit than what the stories have been the last few days about Man United.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see Bayern Munich style of football being playing better there than what he would actually at Man United. With Josie, no, I think Josie's way of football is, especially these days, it's very anti-football, if anything, to be honest.
Miserable. He just strikes me as completely miserable.
What
about Ronaldo, Andrew? Where does he move on?
Well, nostalgic wise, people would want him to go back to Manchester United. Not with Mourinho, because he clearly clashed with him at Real Madrid.
I think for me, you have to ask yourself what challenges are left.
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain haven't won the Champions League.
He won't do a PSG. If he does do a PSG, Neymar goes the other way.
I don't think Neymar would play for Real Madrid. Neymar's come out and said he wants to play under Pep Guardiola.
He said that recently. Yeah.
So whether some sort of triangular deal could be put together involving...
Could be. I think it'll be an interesting summer, to be honest.
Aguero going...
Yeah.
Because we've not spoken about as well Benzema getting miraculous.
Well, not really spoke about the goalkeeper
it
either.
Was akin to... I would cast your minds back to, I think, 2007, 2008 season, or 2006-2007, when Alan Combe threw a football against Darren Mackey's back.
And it bounced off. That was amazing, to be fair.
Aberdeen against Kilmarnock at Pittodrie, he threw it against Darren Mackey's back and it went in. This was worse. This was worse.
Champions League final?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The thing I would say about this is everyone on the night, has to raise their game to their absolute best. And I think we could argue that most of the players on the park did that.
Yeah.
They were playing at their absolute best. It was unfortunate Adam Lallana had to come on, but anywho, Karius was perhaps the only one not to deal with the pressure, perhaps as well as his teammates. Would that be a kind thing to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Just a little.
It was fantastic for the bookies. Saved them a lot of money.
Well, the spirit of Jamie Langfield obviously took over. And he'd put the gloves in oil, and I think the first goal he's actually quite unlucky, throwing it against Benzema's boot.
He's not unlucky.
9 times out of 10 that misses.
Stupid.
9 times out of 10 that misses because
can't allow that to happen.
Can't allow it to happen.
If you're nervous, like in a Champions League final, of course you're going to be nervous. You take your time. You let people regroup. I know they play counter-attacking football, but no one was up. And there was no need in him doing that. And it wasn't as if Benzema wasn't in his line of sight.
So did he lose that final for Liverpool?
Yes.
I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, it's cruel. It's cruel to pin him on it, but you have to. Because the players did they did what they had to do in the park. And did they make a fantastic save? No.
The one thing I would say is that when you look at obviously the big clubs in Europe, they've all got a big name world class goalkeeper. And Liverpool, yeah, it's just not. Even you're looking at like the backup goalkeeper. I mean, you got Mignolet there. It's hardly
the former Sunderland.
I know. So, and then to be honest, probably one of the ex Aberdeen players, is it Jones. He's there. I'm sure. He's probably like one of their best.
He's in
Danny
Holland.
Ward.
Danny Ward.
Ward,
right.
Yeah.
I think he's on their books somewhere.
He's probably the best goalkeeper, but
he would have done a better job.
Shame he saved penalties to take them into the penalties to take. Was it Huddersfield into the Premier League?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, shame people don't get these chances. I think Jack Butland's rumoured to be on quite a good deal because Stoke have gone down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think they need to stop going on players that have proved themselves at smaller clubs. Because if you look at the likes of
you want people that have proved themselves at bigger clubs?
Yes, because
just a world class.
If you look at
no one's going to tell you they're a good goalkeeper.
No, but if you look at Pickford, they went to Everton. He's not great, is he? There's Simon Mignolet. They got him from Sunderland.
Everton and Liverpool, though.
No, but if you look at it, Mignolet came from Sunderland, small team. He made a lot of saves in that season. They're like, you know what, we'll take a chance on him. And then it just keeps going around in that circle.
Well, Scott Bain is available Liverpool.
No, it's not a 5-year deal.
They've missed out on Jack Hamilton. So Craig Gordon, who nearly got on the Chelsea bench, but we still saw Jurgen Klopp in good spirits celebrating with the
6 o'clock in the
fans.
morning or something like that.
I don't know why he was doing that. Like,
You might as well.
he's
Don't know.
lost, I think, 6 major finals in a row.
That's the one thing, yeah. Uh-huh.
I'd be pretty distraught, although I think he's taken Liverpool further than anyone could have expected. And this is the greatest success Liverpool have had.
What did you actually think of Liverpool on the night? Were you a bit
They weren't that
disappointed a bit on it? Or?
I'd say they were alright.
They
Spells.
didn't come across too badly in the highlights, but, losing 3 goals, you're never going to win a final.
Yeah.
Yes, you can put 2 of those down at the keeper, but...
Yeah. I think Mo Salah going off was a bit of a turning point too.
Well, they lacked, even the third Bale goal's a ridiculous strike from nowhere.
Yeah.
The second Bale goal's a ridiculous strike out nowhere. They lack that long-range finishing. What did Firmino really contribute
He was quiet, yeah.
on the night? And, I think Sané was about the only one that was fired up.
Mane, yeah.
Sane.
Sorry.
Sané's doing well.
I think Mane was about the only one fired up. Robertson looked very, very committed, and again,
He had a great
I'd
challenge
probably
towards the
say
end of the game.
He played really well. I know you don't feel the same, but
I thought a few
I
times
thought he played well.
he was overcommitted.
I thought he played well.
And he did expose them to quite a lot, especially marking someone like Ronaldo. But I guess that's what's going to happen in a final.
I mean, if you say exposed them to quite a lot, if you look at what they were exposed to and what they conceded, he clearly never exposed them to very much. Because if he exposed them to quite a lot, there would be a lot more than that.
He could have done on a few occasions had Ronaldo been actually firing on all cylinders.
So Ronaldo's playing left wing, Robertson was playing left back.
Yeah.
No, Ronaldo.
No, he was playing left striker.
I
So
saw
he was
him.
on the left side of the park.
He was on the right every time I saw him sprinting by Robertson.
On your highlights.
No, that's what I saw. BT Sport, if you want me to see it, put it on BT Showcase. That's all that I'm saying.
I thought Andy played well.
Gone are the days of Sky Sports and ITV. You forget about that, don't you? Anyway, I think that about rounds off our Champions League coverage. Who's going to win it next year, lads?
Hopefully not Real.
Celtic.
Brilliant. And Rangers will storm through the first Europa League qualifying round to reach the final as well, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
We shall wait.
We'll
and
see how the progress is.
I'm going to tip PSG. Oh, do they need their corn? Anyway, I'm going to tip PSG because I like them. Darren, you're going to tip Barcelona?
Hopefully, yeah.
There you go. Quite right. We'll just all go for our favourite teams. Anyway, to the next piece, and again, the most lucrative game in Scottish football. Livingston have been promoted to the Premiership in what was, well, kind of not a surprise, I suppose, after the first leg, but overall, if you go back to our season predictions and things, it's a massive surprise that Livingston have gone up to the Premiership, and there must be a lot of scorning faces at the likes of Dundee United, especially, thinking
I'd say so.
they must have had 4 or 5 times the budget this season and have spent, probably millions of pounds more than Livingston in the last 2 years to achieve nothing. Falkirk as well after a number of attempts. So no, very exciting for Livingston and their fan base. Did we see any of the matches at all?
I never seen the full game, but I seen most of the first half and a wee bit of the second half. But I was quite impressed. I think Livingston were very much in control of the game.
Absolutely.
I think Partick did create a few chances, but they never looked like they were going to take them.
Penalty.
Yeah. And that just kind of summed up their day, I felt. But
Good old salmon flops. I think it was actually good to see quite a competitive playoff fixture, because over the last few years, the teams have been worlds apart. Well, probably not Dundee United, Hamilton, but I revisited some of the former games recently just to try and remember, and highlights are hard to come by. But I came across those Motherwell Rangers fixtures.
right, yeah.
And Rangers just got annihilated.
Oh, they did, yeah.
By Motherwell. And it's interesting, you look back and there's names you almost forget, like Lionel Ainsworth was a big star for Motherwell. They had a few other good players in there as well, but Rangers, Vucic.
Oh, the boy from Newcastle.
Aye.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going, what? And then
I forgot about him, yeah.
I think Nicky Law was in the team, and Chris Boyd had finally got in, despite the fact he's now the Premiership striker of the season, could barely get a run in the Rangers
Did
team.
they not still have John Daly? Was it Daly? Did they still have them at that point?
He
No?
wasn't really playing.
It was just the fact he used to play from centre back to striker. They used to switch him, which was a joke.
Well, but they got absolutely annihilated. The only other playoff success we've seen in recent times, obviously Hamilton coming back against Hibernian.
Antoine Couré.
Oh yeah, people like Mick Antoine Query. A fantastic finish from Jason Scotland.
Ah, right, yeah. I remember that actually.
Aye, who'd come back from his kind of feats down south.
Uh-huh.
Who else? Louis Longridge was playing quite well for Hamilton. Now a Falkirk player, but it's interesting. A lot of the Hamilton names are still there. Hibernian. Who's the blonde boy? I forget.
Jason Cummins?
No, not Joe. But Jason Cummins was playing.
Was he playing?
I didn't realise he was part of that kind of last. Ryan McGivern, I think was his name. The blonde boy. So a few blasts from the past there, but again, such a. But then the difference there, both competitive games, whereas when we saw Falkirk play Kilmarnock, not competitive games, they were very much annihilated.
The first game was...
No, the first game was dreadful.
They got so jammy, it was unbelievable. And then even Dundee United, Hamilton was just two teams that were totally goosed and over the line. And the argument we've had in recent years was, is that playoff structure fair? Because not many teams have been going up through it, and Livingston have kind of...
I mean, it's obviously not fair, but it's fair for the team that are meant to come down.
Well,
it favours them significantly, which is not a wrong... Like, it's not wrong, but I'm not going to say it's right.
So what are you going to say?
Well, it's good for the SPFL because you usually keep the teams with the bigger attendances up. But if you go but the thing is, you can't really base it off attendances.
No, you can't, Andrew. Unfortunately.
Which Falkirk like to do sometimes because we're in the top 10.
What do you think of the structure, Dan? Do you think it's...
Well, yeah, it's. I was just pleased to see that it actually happened because it's been a long time. The last couple of years, just like in terms of how the structure is, that we were obviously saying this time last year, I think we said that they need to change it, but obviously it is kind of done the job in terms of giving us a bit of hope that can actually happen.
Gives us a bit of fun
if it's
as well.
the right team, yeah.
I think it's a fantastic occasion at the end of the season. You know, the weather was absolutely stunning for both of these fixtures.
It was, yeah.
And it was a great watch. I watched the game at the Ammonvale. You know, really big turnout for Livingston, who opened all 4 stands.
That's saying something.
In a remarkable move
First
there.
time though.
And I know there's been a lot of local community bars around season ticket holders. They sold off kits for a tenner just before the game, so we might be seeing a few more Levy fans. You know, Darren and I work in the region where the
it's good for us, I suppose. Yeah.
Operates, but you know, the people that work around us, you know, wouldn't even blink at Livingston, and yet the whole town were talking about it. And I think it's interesting in that, you know, seeing all these cup finals recently, even like, you know, the FA Vase and things like that, you think, you know, what do football teams actually mean? And it's just a bit of pride in your local community. Like, people like to think they're great. And I think the football teams help them do that. And I've seen a lot of hashtag Totsamosh Livingston fans, you know, like have been fans through an administration and like, remember winning the cup and, you know, Hoppy's Army and stuff like that. So it's been really good to see, and I think Livingston are really kind of tight knit. In terms of my thoughts on the playoffs, I think for me it's always been a privilege because, you know, we've always had only one team go up. So I think you have to earn that right. Yeah. And we see that the system, you know, can work, you know, if your team is capable of it.
Definitely.
And I'm sure, you know, Paul Hartley and Csaba Laszlo, however much longer he's there, will give a phone call to David Hopkin whenever he lands as to how you actually achieve playoff success. Because it's become such a routine of none of us going up recently.
All right, Paul Hartley will get us there first time.
We'll see.
Not even the playoffs, we're just going straight up.
Straight up.
Listen to our predictions in the sexiest team of 2019 season review as of last week. So, no, hugely exciting for Livingston. And I think it's great to get some fresh blood in the Premiership. And they're going to be in FIFA next season.
Aye, that's true.
Which will be the first time ever. Well, the first time in my living memory.
Yeah.
Because my first FIFA was FIFA 06 and they weren't in that. They may well have been...
But they're not in...
When was the last time they were?
They wouldn't have been in 08, no.
Sure?
Yes.
When was the last time they were in the Premiership? Well, top league. It's a good 10 years anyway.
It might have been. Because they were definitely up there and about.
You got your phone on you, Andrew? No. Oh, well, you're not going to look it up then, are you? I will look that up later.
Yeah.
How many stars do we think they'll get whilst them?
What if they're going on to FIFA?
Well, they are going on to FIFA.
I don't think they'll even give them a half star.
1.5.
Actually, no, they'll give them 1 star just for Lee Miller.
1 star for getting up.
Imagine his ultimate team car. Imagine if we got an inform though.
I would love that.
If we got his glory days car, it would be quite remarkable. It's going to be between 1.5 and 2 stars. I think
I'd say so.
100%.
But speaking of that news, the Premiership is going to be in Pro Evolution Soccer next year. The Scottish Premiership.
I hadn't heard that.
It's quite interesting because they were. Livingston appeared from FIFA 2002 up to FIFA 2006. Actually,
12 years.
We'll need to go back and assess their team ratings, because that could be the likes of Robert Snodgrass, which could be quite interesting. We throw back, but Pro Evolution Soccer has been quite good for like the modding community and stuff.
Yeah,
for Scottish, they've tried to put like stadiums and stuff in.
Right.
Well, I'd love an authentic Scottish Premiership game, going through the
That'd be quite interesting.
Work your way up through the Lowland League. Make it like these career modes are far too glamorous these days. I want the bleak, like 2-footed challenges without getting a booking, trying to get Spartans or who could be worse, or Fort William.
Yeah, that's true.
I think their team rating would be -4.
Almost went bust.
They
did. They did struggle, but they
were looking for volunteers to keep it going.
Well, but they were trying to register for the league, but they didn't know if they're going to.
I think they are.
Yeah, no, they've re-registered now, but
keep on going. It's nice to see. Speaking of top level football, though, I was of course at the women's final. It was kind of the League Cup. They call it the SWPL final because they play a cup in the divisions because there's such a gap between them. So you would have seen, if you were following us on the Sofa Manager Instagram, some score updates, which was a mad idea to do on this day because I never had my head out my phone. Hibernian won this 9-0. Did any of us see this on Alba?
Nope.
Alba.
I actually did watch a wee bit of it.
Did you see me?
Just in between the living.
See me in the background, Dan?
I did look out, but I couldn't see anything.
Sofa Manager Scouts, if you look at the background, you can see me with I've got my hand on my waist, elbow out, looking very authoritative, as I do in the position I hold.
You're just posing for the camera, weren't you?
Well, apparently head in the phone a lot, which you could see because of 9 goals. So tweet in if you do spot us in the background. I'm in a purple jumper, so if you don't know what I look like. But I've thoroughly enjoyed, the women's football I went to see this year. I've only been to 2 cup finals. Last one was Glasgow City. Hibernian won 2-1. This was slightly less of a competition at 9-0, shall we say, but some fantastic goals. One of the standouts, Lizzie Arnott was her name. 22-year-old, so kind of similar age to myself, which you can relate to. Scoring 5 goals in a football match, which I've totally done. But she had a fantastic volley in the second half in particular. So there were some good goals. I think some of the worst own goal I've ever seen from a Celtic player. I couldn't entirely understand how she'd managed to put it in the back of her own net. I remember the Celtic team actually tried to huddle after 3-0.
All right, okay.
That went well. But I thought it was refreshing to see a team with such success on the Saturday could get royally pumped on the Sunday. So it gives the rest of us hope. Some interesting things though. There was a few gentlemen that went to this women's football match by themselves. There was an Asian gentleman just in front of us who just smiled on random occasions. And I was like, do you just get your kicks out of watching women's football? I was really weirded out because I just couldn't
get your head
I couldn't quite work it out. I was like, I don't want to be around when the final whistle goes. So that was a bit weird, but no, a decent turnout, not a great turnout. I think women's football. Watched a documentary about it recently, actually. I think there were 3,000 registered women footballers in Scotland.
Is that right?
Of a population of 5 million, which is a bit meh. But I thought it was quite exciting. You ever watched any women's football yourselves?
I've watched it before, but I need to be honest, it doesn't interest me a lot.
Doesn't float your boat.
I can watch it every so often, but it would need to be like a final, like obviously that you were at. But
yeah, I'm a glory hunter. That's all I've been to.
And like sometimes you get like the European sort of finals, I suppose.
Yeah,
but that's out with that. I can't say I've ever sat down and watched any other sort of women's football on TV.
No. I must admit, I was there mainly to hand out, my business card and say, "Hi there, Paul. You might have heard my voice on the tonight." Although you can never tell with women footballers. is one thing I'd say which goal they're striking for. But I thought one of the star strikers for Hibernian, Abby Harrison, looks exactly like the girl in the Clique programme that Darren and I watch all the time and are big fans of. Have you ever seen Clique before, Andrew? Clique?
No.
You've not seen Clique?
No.
It's a treat. It's on BBC iPlayer. It's all about... It's like an Edinburgh uni student,
basically, yeah.
where life gets a bit funky.
No thanks.
But it's good.
It's good, yeah.
It's good. It's all very glamorous, and but that's who she reminded of. But I'm excited. They're back at the Falkirk Stadium, I think, on Thursday the 7th of June, and Lizzie Arnott has been picked. So hopefully another few more goals. I see she got some goals against Rangers at the weekend.
All right.
I think Hibs are actually one of the only full-time teams in Scotland, as far as the women's game is concerned.
I was surprised that there was such a gulf in terms of. I thought Celtic could have been half decent.
Well, they only really beat them kind of 3-4-0 earlier on this season. So I don't know what happened. I know I was speaking to a few girls that play for Celtic, at the younger level at school, were very disappointed. And I think Hibs were kind of giving it laldy in the run up, like we won the last cup. However, the biggest hooligans of the lot were the Hibernian players after the full-time whistle when they won. It was like, bouncing about, championes. They were celebrating more vigorously than I've seen any of the men.
I did see a bit of that, actually. Yeah.
Hooligans, Dan. Absolute hooligans. Just shouting championes. I was worried for my own safety, not because of the wee pervy bloke in front of me, but also because of the women that were bouncing about, shouting. But it was also nice to see.
Yeah.
And it was the only trophy I've seen lifted at the Falkirk Stadium in... ever. So that was very exciting. It's always a pleasure to play Sunshine on Leith. You can always pretend that it's a nice moment to see. So I would thoroughly recommend it. Check it out on the iPlayer. There's a wee baldy man that speaks in Gaelic at you. But see if you can spot me in the first kind of 5-10 minutes. Anyway, beyond the women's game, which is still being played throughout the summer, so if you fancy getting along, give that a go. We also have more summer football, don't we, Darren?
Yes, we do.
The Sofa Manager Special Competition, offering comprehensive coverage of a competition no one else is comprehensively covering.
So true.
It is the Sofa Manager Betfred Cup. So those draws took place elegantly as usual on BT Sport. Did you see the draw?
On the Friday. I never saw the draw, but checked it off afterwards.
Awful. Much as I did it earlier, saying Jack Ross is the manager of Sunderland signing for Sunderland, Rob McLean very much did the same. They would say Group A, Hearts. Yes, that's Hearts in Group A. And then they'd pick out another ball. There's got to be more exciting ways of doing the draw.
Yeah.
A la
Rod Stewart.
It should be a drinking game, frankly, as to odd numbers, even numbers. I say you even make it a penalty shootout with different, holes in whichever bag they manage to get it into. Depends on the calibre of the team that you get.
Hearts couldn't organise chairs for a stadium. I don't think we can organise that.
Well, draw was done down south. Is it
down south?
Yeah, in the BT Sports studio.
Ah, right, yeah.
Not even on Scottish soil.
Because that's when they done their Scottish review, didn't they?
Exactly.
Review.
So, are you looking forward to it, Darren?
Yes, I always quite like this competition. I think it's just because it starts in the summer, so
I'm a big fan. It's more casual, it's more relaxed.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be working at it. It's maybe a bit more of an imposition, but it's a competition I enjoy. Sunset football, and a lot of success for Falkirk last season. We'll get into who's in their group this season, however. Is it a competition you look forward to, Andrew?
I mean, I enjoyed it last year, but the aftermath I really didn't, so I'm not really going to hold out hope. I kind of hope we get knocked out.
Well, get in touch with your thoughts. Do you enjoy the competition? It's something you go along to. And what would you like to see us cover about the competition as well? So, Darren, shall we take a kind of brief run through the groups?
Yeah, why not?
Split into North and South, which have no relevance at all in terms of geographical location.
I think it's on the pools, though. I think I was a bit confused because Falkirk and Steny were on different. They're in different sections, like areas, but it's like how you're seeded.
Just call it Zone A and Zone B. It's ridiculous. So in Group A, who do we have in Group A, Darren?
In Group A, we have Ross County, Dundee United, Arbroath, Elgin City, and Alloa Athletic.
Aloha with their amazing new Hawaiian away kit. The more I say it, the more it becomes true. I think this is quite competitive. Ross County now down in the Championship. Try to retain some of their players. I know Liam
That's a good
Fontaine
point, actually, yeah.
signed up, I think, the fullback Naismith is wanted by a few clubs, so he might not be sticking around, including Aberdeen. Burton Albion as well in for that, so we'll see how that goes. But two similarly equal teams there.
I'd say so, yeah.
What, Alloa and...
Ross County, Dundee United and Alloa are 3 championship teams, I suppose.
But Dundee United aren't very good. Well, they've got Nicky Clark now.
They are signing strongly. But whether that helps, whether the manager team could be say.
Hopefully, doesn't come out to say he wants to kill them.
Yeah, I think Elgin will probably struggle.
I'd say so
in this group, and Arbroath, they can hope for a few points.
They do okay, aye, yeah.
Crest the wave that hits the banks next to the stadium. Hope to smoke the rest of the competition.
I was just waiting on a comment.
So that's quite interesting. And Group B, we've got St Johnstone, Falkirk, Montrose, East Fife, and Forfar.
Right, that sounds like I'm quite worried about Montrose.
Well,
Montrose, yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to score. But if you looked at the team of the season, Montrose, left back, right back, 2 centre backs, goalkeeper, all Montrose.
League 2.
Yeah, but still, we've got Sean Dillon. Do you not see his impact he had with Dundee United? Can't wait to play against them again.
A very strong, organised team that did very, very well in League 2 last year. Waltzed it right up to the wire, and when Peterhead even punted it in the playoffs as well. The main 2 teams here, obviously, St Johnstone and Falkirk.
Yeah, I'd expect they to.
I'd expect St Johnstone to run away with it, to be honest. But it depends what kind of team they play, because I don't know how seriously they'll take it.
I think, reflective of St Johnstone and Falkirk 2 seasons ago, and Falkirk really struggled against St Johnstone, I thought. And to be fair, it was a dismal game.
Yeah.
So I can predict more of the same. I hope that one's at home. To actually, we've not had a Premiership team to the Falkirk Stadium in a long time. So that would be nice to see. Speaking of C,
Group C.
That segue. Hear that smoothness, Andrew? Who's in Group C?
Group C, then we have Hearts, Inverness, Raith Rovers, Cowdenbeath, and Cove Rangers.
Oh, Cowdenbeath and Cove's going to be brutal. Jeez, they had flipping 4 players sent off. That is going to be a grudge match. I need to try and get to that.
Actually, that would be good.
If that's the Cowdenbeath, I'm going with like red flares for Cove Rangers Ultras.
I think that's my favourite group, actually.
I can't believe
it's quite interesting to have like Inverness and Raith in the same group.
Stuff Inverness and Raith. This is about Cowdenbeath and Cove Rangers in the battle for who should be in the league. Stuff the rest of them. I don't know. I love that grudge match. Aye, but you think Hearts for this one, Darren?
It should be, yeah. Looking on paper, it does look like that, but you might have a surprise team there pops out.
Come on, Cove. Come on. They did all right a few seasons ago.
Aye, they did, yeah.
This is the problem with this format: is it doesn't encourage upsets, does it?
No, not really.
So it is very difficult for these teams to sustain, but they'll be out to prove a point against rotten Cowdenbeath. Come on.
They really just went downhill horribly.
Oh, I hate Cowdenbeath. The place is a crumbling wreck.
I think a lot of people would like to see them go down, to be honest.
Speaking of crumbling wrecks, in Group D, Dundee. Dundee. I would have said United. We've talked about them in Group A, Andrew.
That's true.
Sorry. Dunfermline, Stirling Albion, Brecon City, and Peterhead.
Brecon City to win.
A game.
I
think Brecon, they'd be hoping for the win against probably Stirling or Peterhead. That's interesting because it's 2 League 2 teams, 2 Premiership teams, so that could be...
2 Premiership teams?
Sorry.
Dunfermline. What was that, Paul?
They were formerly of the Premiership, Andrew, that's what I meant.
Stirling, Peterhead and Brecon, that.
Yeah,
it might be quite interesting to see how their games go.
Could be quite close. They'd maybe hope. Maybe Peterhead could get something against Dunfermline would be their best hope. I think Dundee probably won't be that motivated either to get much further in this competition. So if there is going to be an upset, I think D could be the one.
Yeah, probably.
He could be the one so far. Anyway, to the south side.
Yes.
South side is the best side. It's the west side, sorry.
So in Group E, we have Partick, Morton, Albion, and Ayr. And Stennismuir.
Right, so we have... This is weirdly drawn. Because Ayr are above Albion Rovers in the pecking order. Because how do they seed this? On like,
I'm not sure really.
Right. So Partick, Morton, and Ayr United, 3 championship sides, which is frustrating because they're going to play each other a horrendous amount of other times this season as well.
Very true. Yeah.
And Albion Rovers and Sterrismuir are both League One.
If memory serves me right, I'm sure Ayr done well last season. They were in the same group as Kelly last season, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they had some broadcast games.
Yeah.
Were they? Right, who got through?
I'm sure Ayr got through with Kelly.
Livingston got through, Falkirk got through. I think Ayr might have got through.
Yeah.
Because obviously the way this works is, if you top the group, you go through. The best 4 runners up
Go through.
So you'd expect 8 Premiership sides and 4 Championship sides is what you're really looking for, ideally. It'd be interesting to see how Partick face up against Morton.
We don't know how Morton are going to fare now.
Very changed sides.
Clearly more ambitious.
Ayr United,
Yeah, that's what I was
the side with momentum, and I think they'll be quite well supported in these games. So I think it could be Ayr.
I think they've got a good record.
The Betfred Cup, no one really does turn up for it though, do they? Because it starts when people are on holiday, and you're just kind of like, do you want to pay this before you get a season ticket? Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's basically like a pre-season sort of start of the tournament, isn't it? So.
That'd be quite interesting because obviously no Premiership team there, so we'll see how that goes. F, we've got Hamilton, Livingston, Berwick Rangers, Airdrie Orions, and Annan Athletic. Monday Annan. Well, Andrew tips them.
I think Livy might win this group.
I think it could be an interesting sighter to see how Livy... Actually, no, shut up, Paul. The Betfred Cup is not a sighter for how well anyone's going to do in the season, as we've covered with great detail in our previous one. Yeah, again, Hamilton probably won't really care. They'll just be looking at survival, and it's quite weak. I think the rest of the group...
that's probably the most... Well... I suppose it is a bit boring, that group. It's not really...
It's quite top-heavy with 2 Premiership sides and everyone else League 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think Annan and Berwick are League 2. Airdrie are League 1.
League 1.
Yeah, League 1,
yeah.
In G, Darren, who do we have there?
Group G, we have Motherwell, Queen of the South.
Cots.
Clyde, Edinburgh City, and Stranraer.
That's no competition there.
I think Motherwell should walk that.
Yeah, Motherwell.
But I hope they go away to Stranraer. Because that's always a pleasant thing.
Queen of the South, how do you think they'll be this season?
Pretty bad.
Dobby. It's just, that's all you need to say.
I know that on the sofamanager.com website, John Brown's kind of spoken about Queen of the South, have kind of crested a wave as well. And aside from Stephen Dobie, the squad's kind of ageing, it's a bit tired, and they've struggled to kind of reach the heights of the playoffs and things that they have in recent seasons.
They fell off last season, really.
And they've always been a team that's really struggled in this competition, finishing like second bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't expect big things.
I feel like Derek Lyle might give them a bit of motivation though.
Maybe
41 and still going.
Maybe.
So you think in Edinburgh City? Yeah.
Fairly wins. In Group H, we've got Killie, St Mirren, the Buddies. We've got Dumbarton, now a League 1 team. Queen's Park of League
1?
League 2.
Is it 2?
League 2 now, yeah.
Right, thanks, experts. And Spartans of the Lowland League. So, you get to play at Hampden before the cup final, as long as they're still allowed to play at Hampden.
2 Premiership teams.
Yeah, another kind of fairly local derby in Kilmarnock and St Mirren, and it's not an Ayrshire derby or anything like that. Or even a Renfrewshire derby. Well, it's not really a derby then, I suppose, is it?
It's hard to say what St Mirren's going to be like.
Yeah.
Until this tournament starts, I suppose.
It'd be interesting to see how Dumbarton go, actually.
They're always quite nippy though, so...
I think Dumbarton could be interesting. I think Queen's Park and Spartans will play it out for last place. Queen's Park struggled in the competition last year, being well and truly thumped by Motherwell at Hampden, who played twice at Hampden in that competition, interestingly enough, on the television. So no, looking forward to it. You got anything else to add there, Darren?
No, not really. I never actually jotted down when the ties start, but I'm sure it's middle of July, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got a July the 8th feeling about it, or maybe late July, somewhere along those times. So footballers, get back from your fancy jaunts. I've been seeing on Instagram, I think we had Canberra and the Australian boy McLaren were in Dubai.
Yeah.
We've obviously seen Craig Sibbald. We've seen Magaluf.
Magaluf, I'm sure it was, yeah.
Smacking his tooth off a Buckfast bottle.
I mean, I don't think he chipped his tooth there and then, but I kind of hope he didn't.
Coincidental. I tell you, footballers just have royally rubbish taste and drink. Who was it that was drinking the MD 2020 after?
Cal Patterson.
Yeah.
That could be the name of the St Mirren
And then
Stadium, the MD 2020 arena.
Who's the other young boy? Bryson was drinking a bottle of Buckfast.
Yeah.
Craig
Craig Bryson, aye. He plays with
It was
Derby.
Cardiff.
Yeah.
Bryson plays with Cardiff.
Aye, he moved.
It was MD and Buckfast, then.
Formula 1, you've got all this wonderful champagne, bottles of wine in the summer. If you win the Indy 500, you drink this wonderful glass of milk.
Is the Valleys not in Cardiff?
Who?
The Valleys. Wasn't that like a mad junkie show on the MTV for a bit?
Oh, you're right, actually, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Uh-huh,
It was like a Geordie show but for Welsh people, so
Welsh
I feel like
Geordie show. What would the Scottish equivalent of that look like, though? Glow.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that never
Good
picked.
definitely not.
They tried to be so made in Chelsea with that, but after one episode of the handycam shot of like a lock on a canal, you were basically like, nah, they've not quite got the gist here. We also had The Scheme as well, which I think was...
The Scheme was brilliant.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Some of the Kilmarnock fans can get some decent sponsorship behind them there. Something along those lines. So, no, very exciting. Pick up your alcohol choices, footballers of the world, because I don't think we'll see the likes of... What will Karius be drinking over the next wee while?
Well, that's true, yeah. Drowning his sorrows.
Drowning his sorrows, there we go. So I think that's an apt point to round off our coverage on. So thank you very much for listening from me, Paul. Don't forget also to check out the website, sofamanager.com, any of our social media pages at Sofa Manager. Give us a like and a subscribe, it helps us a lot. And comment with any of the duff information we've given you. And feel free to correct us.
Could be a few.
Also, I'll be starting my petition for Alloa to have a Hawaiian themed away shirt in the coming days, so please do sign up to that. I'll need to try and get a mock-up of that as well. Rebrand the Indo. We could have a Hawaiian night for the Betfred Cup. I think that would be brilliant. You get the wee tiki, you get the cocktail.
What, the hula girls? Is that what you're trying to go
We have some Malibu. They'll like that. Hula girls in Alloa. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Don't think anyone. Yeah, free hula hoops. Oh dear. Put that with a belly away hen. Anyway, sorry. Thanks for listening from me. Going off topic.
Thanks for listening, everyone, from Dan.
Cheers.
From who?
Andrew.
Brilliant. Future radio broadcaster there. So, have a good evening, a good afternoon, and a good morning. See you next week.